for being there. Today on the program, we have chosen from our bookshelf a book that can challenge us to review the role we play in making the world a better place than we met it. The book is titled Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting, authored by Annette NALOVA EKEMA from the Ministry of Higher Education. Hello, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you very much. I'm also happy to be here.
When did your passion for writing poetry begin?
My passion to write poems started in the year 2010. In fact, we had an event, the Fako Women, we had an event in Boya. So for that, I give credence to His Excellency Peter Mafani Musonge, because that event was under his patronage. So I was inspired to write a poem dedicated to the Fako woman. So when I presented that poem during that event, people really appreciated the poem. So that inspired me now to start writing poetry. So I used to write poems during Women's Day, Teachers' Day, and so on and so forth.
But I want you to take me far back when you were young. Did you like that?
I loved literature in general, but I never thought I was going to write poems, because I used to ask myself, how come somebody can just write some phrases and he really knows it will make sense, and he really knows it will impress people? So it used to be like funny to me. But before I knew it, I was in it too.
Okay. You know, when I look at the title of this book, Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting, it sounds like a warning to humanity. What do you think?
I may not really say warning per se, but it's an eye-opener, yes, for the reader who is going to read this book, because at least we have spent some time on earth, yeah? We have spent at least half a century already, so we have seen so many things going on.
Yes.
And we think we can say something concerning what can be done to make the world a better place. So what we are bringing out in this book is that we ask questions so that each person who reads the book we try to see at their own level where they find themselves, what they can do to improve on the things around them. So that is why we say Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting. So creation is waiting for you, the reader, who will read this book. Because when you read this book, you will try and see how you can improve on the way you do things, the way things are going on around you.
Briefly tell us what the book is all about.
Okay, this book, Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting, is a collection of poems, as we've said earlier, and it is bilingual. So the poem has 5 parts. Yes, we talk about women's rights, we talk about education, we talk about nature, people, places, and events is one part. We talk about God and love. Yes.
Okay. We are going to continue with our discussion.
As someone deeply rooted in the field of bilingual education and literature, I was particularly struck by Madame Annette NALOVA EKEMA's decision to use poetry as a genre, often considered hermetic, as a medium for her message in Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting, published by La Matin France. Despite the genre's perceived complexity, Madame EKEMA masterfully employs linguistic, cultural, and stylistic devices to explore a wide range of pressing societal issues. This bilingual collection is more than a work of literary art. Actually, it is a mirror held up to our society. It addresses vital themes such as women's rights, education, current events, nature, love, and spirituality. Through her verses, Madame EKEMA raises thought-provoking questions that challenge readers to reflect on their action and responsibility. Her poetry is not just to be read, it is a call to action. Madame EKEMA speaks directly to the learners, educators, women, and recognizing them as key agents of development. She elevates the role of teachers, likening them to ultimate master, Jesus, underscoring therefore the sacred duty of education in a society. Women are portrayed as the cradle of humanity and guardians of life. EKEMA's poetry is thus a profound challenge to both the individual and the society at large. Madame EKEMA uses a flexible language register, adapting to the topic and the target of her audience. She blends modern and Elizabethan English, inventing terms like Olympicity, educacity, coquille, and she also integrates Cameroonian youth expressions like repe or reme. She uses anaphoric questioning, how come, in poems like, what are you teaching your people? Or did you, in poems like too cold to bear heat. All that invites deep reflection. This book is not a poetry for scholars alone. It speaks to the youth, whether in or out of school, to women, to teachers, to parents, and to decision makers as well. Every link in the societal chain. I take my hat off to the author for her courage and vision in using such a nuanced form of expression to address such universal concerns. Indeed, the world is eagerly awaiting for the imprint of this generation. But what is this generation waiting for to change things? That is the question. I encourage everyone to read this important work. Buy it or offer it to someone. It is not just a book, it is a movement.
From our bookshelf, we have taken Le Monde Attend, Creation is Waiting, of Annette NALOVA EKEMA. I just want to find out from you, NALOVA. It is alleged that poetry is a powerful tool for advocacy. Do you also think that way?
Yes, I do. I do think so. Because in poetry, you write a lot, but in very few phrases. So each person now is free to interpret the poetry the way they want. In fact, you can even take a poem and write a whole book on it. So poetry is really a good tool for advocacy because each one finds his or her fit in poetry.
Okay, in your own case, what are you advocating for?
I am advocating for a better future. I am saying that whatever we want for our future, we should plant it today. Yes, in our youths, in our training at home, in our training in school, in our training in the society, whatever we do, we should know that what we want tomorrow has to be planted today.
Okay. The happenings in our society today, because you say we need to improve on our world, make it better than we've met it. We have a lot of happenings today which need to be addressed. Take, for example, juvenile delinquency. Take, for example, insalubrity. Take, for example, there are just so many examples that we can name here. What, therefore, do we do in order to curb juvenile delinquency in school?
That's a very important question because, as we know, the school is the milieu where we train students, we train children for the future. And I am a guidance counselor. I worked in schools for about 13 years before going to the Ministry of Higher Education. So I really know what students face in school and what can be done. The first thing is that at home, education starts at home. Let parents teach their children discipline. They have to be disciplined right from the home. In schools, we have to also insist on discipline. It is very important. Without discipline, we cannot have a good society. So that when those students will leave, let them know that discipline in school is not just punishment, but it's part of their training. It is very important. And teachers should be careful with whatever thing they do in a school milieu. The way they interact with students, they should know that the students learn from what they do more than even what they say.
Maybe you tell us one of those poems that address such such
juvenile delinquency.
Yes.
Yes. There's a poem titled The Olympiacity in Edu City.
Okay. And which is that page?
Page 123, I think so.
So tell us about that poem and then the message behind.
Yeah. So in our schools, even when we were students, we had that phenomenon where the school administration, they go out and take people who are not of the school to come and compete in school competitions. And the school will win medals and they celebrate, whereas they know very well that those people who won those medals are not of their school. They do those things because they think that it is just sports. No. Even through sports, we teach children what they have to do. If we teach them in class that cheating is not good, but in sports, we go around cheating for us to win medals, we are contradicting ourselves. And students learn more from what we do than from what we even say. So when we say that cheating is not good in the school milieu, we should practice it in every other aspect in the school milieu, including sports. So we should allow students to compete freely and get their real level, rather than going to take people who are not of the school to come and compete, and they win medals, and the school administration, they are proud to celebrate in front of their students, knowing very well that they cheated. I don't know how they think those children look at those things.
Yeah.
So they copy it right from school, and they take it now to the world out there. And then before you know it, we'll complain that there's corruption, there's cheating, whereas they learned it from school.
Yeah. We are going to continue with our book. For now, we need to take the Vox Pop, and this is the question. If you could change one thing about humanity, what will it be?
That thing for me is our mentality, our way of thinking, our way of doing things. We do things like every other person. That's because this one did it, I too I have to do it. I don't care if it's good or it's bad. I don't care if it hurts somebody or not. Just because somebody else did it, I too I want to do it. You don't see like they'll put for example a trash can beside you and they really precise throw your dirt here in here. But some people, I don't know, they'll really just come and pass by and just drop it beside the trash can. When you want to speak, you say, but besides you're seeing, even beside the trash can, you see other people throwing there. Why would I do the same thing? That's really what for me, we really have to change.
To my point of view, I think I would like to stick on the Sustainable Development Goal created in 2017. There are 17 goals, but I'll talk about quality education. There must be equal education, free education to all, irrespective of age, religion, and social status. I think that's my point of view.
I would also like to eradicate the idea of poverty set minds. People have the tendency of always thinking that there's poverty around them. Once you have the tendency of being a poor person or your mindset that you are a poor person, poverty will always fill its space or be around you. Always try to have that idea that you are not a poor person, but then you are just at the level of your position where God has placed you. If you have the impression that you're poor, you will never like to move further, and you always think that others are above you. No, they are not above you. It's where God decided to place them. So accept your situation and don't believe you are poor, but you should work harder wherever you are in order to feel comfortable.
Thank you for joining us. If you are tuned to CRTV News, then you're watching the book with me, Susan Bell. Some of the poems are focused, in this book, are focused on the women. Why the necessity to put them on the spotlight?
Yeah, thank you for that question. We have to put women in the spotlight because the first thing is that they make more than a majority of world's population. But what we notice is that women are lagging behind in many things, whereas they are good development partners. So we are calling on women to take their place as active development partners in every sphere of life. Yes, while they educate children at home, they should also take their place in society, in decision making, in politics, in every other aspect of life. Women have to be there, because men on their own, they cannot do it, because women form a majority, as we say. So women have to actually take their place. If women were leaders of most countries, we will not have the wars that we have, we will not have the pandemics that we have, and so on and so forth. Because women have their own touch, which is different from what men do.
Exactly.
Yes, they have their own touch.
When values, faith, and futility becomes the pursuit of men, tell us how this book can change this tendency.
This book can change this tendency, as I said, in the training of our youths.
Yes.
Yes, because we have seen what our youths are into now. They are into everything. I mean everything. They are into drugs, they are into alcohol, they are into sexual immorality, everything. They want to get money fast, and so on and so forth. So this book is helping us to train our youths, to give them the right education that they need, right from the house, right from the home, before they even go to school. And in school, children should be strict on students, because what is happening now is that it's like we are taking but what the children want us to do. You go to schools, you see it's like teachers are hands down. They are just following what the students are doing. What we are seeing in society is that parents and schools are rather following the pace of the students instead of the students following what they have to do.
Yes.
So schools should take their place and be strict on discipline. If a child cannot follow school discipline because his father is right up there or whatever, let the parents create a school for such a child. Yes, every child that goes to school must follow school discipline. If you don't follow school discipline, you will also corrupt those who came there with good hearts to study, and before you know it, it will be something else. You know the story in the Bible where a master planted good seeds, and the workers went out, and what did they see? They saw tares among the plants, and they asked them, should we root the bad weeds? The master said no, allow them to grow together. During harvest, you will remove all, you will take the good ones on one side and burn. But in education, it is not the same.
Okay.
If you allow the bad seeds to grow alongside the good seeds, they are going to choke the good seeds.
Okay.
So schools have to be strict when it comes to discipline. Even in church, there's a discipline to follow. Even in our normal...
every society has its norm.
Everything.
Yes,
so,
every society has its norm. Well, it's time for us to have on the shelf. And we have been talking about printing, and we still need to learn more about it. Our resource person, Professor Nyahans, it's there to guide us. Let's watch.
Can we strike a difference between an editor and a publisher?
It is very possible, yes. The work of an editor is to see to it that content of a manuscript is proofread. Where there are errors or mistakes, they are corrected. Where there's some level of ambiguity, it is being made it is made clear to the author, because in editing there's a lot of work that is being done. Some of them we just make some proposals for work to be better. It's left now for the author to accept those proposals or not. That is the work of the editor. A publisher may not necessarily be an editor, but a publisher is responsible for the content of any work that is published in his or her publishing house. Which means that a publisher recruits, it is the work or it's the role of the publisher to recruit good editors for his company, so that the works that come out from the publishing company will be works that are acceptable, works that are of good quality. So that is the difference. If there are no writers, publishing companies will not exist. We hold writers in high esteem. We appreciate the work of the writers. And I keep on telling them, even in class that I teach publishing, that we encourage as many people to write. Because the more we write, the more we have new information. Without books, there will be no school. Without book, there will be no education. So just imagine a school system or a society where there are no writers, there are no books. It is not possible. It is going to be very difficult. So we encourage our people out there to continue writing. In as much as writers continue writing, publishers will never stop publishing. And I must say that writing is hard work. Writing is a daunting task. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of research. And if you want to be a writer, you want to write something, don't just think they can just take your foot and type anything and think that's going to be published. You must do something that is of good quality so that it will get out there and impact society positively.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. Annette, NALOVA, EKEMA, Le Monde attend. Creation is waiting. I think this question I would have asked you at the beginning. Why did you choose to write it in French and in English?
I think you can answer the question yourself.
Is it because our country is bilingual?
Our country is bilingual,
Yes.
and I want as many people as possible to benefit from what is inside this book. Yes, because the book is very rich.
Yes,
I can
it's
tell
in
you.
fact very rich. When I was still a young girl, I never liked poetry, but I picked up this book and I learned a lot. I'm getting the meaning of what you're saying, and I believe that those who are watching, they want to get a copy of Le Monde attend, Creation is waiting. So how do they get to you?
Okay, to get to me, they can those who are around Yaoundé, they can get me. They can contact me in the Ministry of Higher Education where I work. For those who are in Boya, they can get a copy of this book from the Mountain Club in Boya, and I will still try to put these books in libraries here and there. But for now, they can contact me through my Facebook page, Annette.Baba Ekema, in one word. That's my Facebook address. They can contact me there and they will get their copy. They can also get the copies online, Amazon, and all the other online mediums, because the book was published in France, as you may know, because I had difficulties in getting a Cameroonian or African publisher to publish this rich book, because they were telling me Cameroonians don't read, and even if they read, do they read poetry, and so on and so forth. But when I sent this book to La Matin, France, they were really impressed. They did not hesitate. So
Yes.
the book is in all the online mediums that you know. You can get it online.
Okay, so we are concluding now. What would be your last word to those who are watching?
Yeah. My last word to those who are watching is that each and every one of us can do something for this world to become a better place than we met it. We always say, teachers of yesterday, what parents of yesterday, and so on and so forth. We can bring back those good values in our society, but it is the role of each and every one of us. We should not push the blame to the government or to whoever. All of us have to work hand in gloves for the world to be better. Thank you very much. When you buy the book, don't only buy and keep on your shelf. Buy and read, and you will testify of the value of this book. Thank you.
Yes, it contains a lot.
A lot.
And I think that from this book, I have kind of changed a habit, which I will not mention here, thanks to this book. And there are certain things that you want to change in your life. So just get a copy. We don't want to disclose everything here. Thank you for watching this edition. And I thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Okay. Thank you for watching, and see you some other time on this same channel. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.